students, in this video class I am going to talk about P block elements. In your previous class, class 11, you learnt about 13th group elements and 14th group elements. So in your class 12, you are going to know about, you are going to study about remaining elements, 15th group elements, 16th group elements, 17th and 18th group elements. So now in this class, I want to start 15th group elements. So you know guys, 15th group elements are nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, stibbium and bismuth. So these are the 15th group elements. So 15th group elements are also known as 50A group elements and nicogens. Right. So first in this video I want to talk about four things. First one, occurrence of 15th group elements, and second one, periodic trends, how periodic trends changes in 15th group elements, and third one, physical properties of the 15th group elements, and the next one, that is last one, chemical properties of the 15th group elements. Right. So first let me start with occurrence of these elements. So first let us take nitrogen. So nitrogen is available in the atmosphere. Nitrogen is available in the atmosphere as N2 gas, that is 78%. Nitrogen is the first most abundant element in the atmosphere, that is 78% by volume. And nitrogen is available in earth crust also. Nitrogen is available in earth crust in the form of nitrates. They are sodium nitrate NaNO3 and potassium nitrate KNO3, and which is available in living things. Nitrogen is available in living things in the form of proteins, and amino acids. So these are the three sources of nitrogen. And the next one, phosphorus. Occurrence of the phosphorus. So phosphorus is available in the form of phosphate rocks. They are also known as apatites. Examples for the apatites. First one, Ca9PO4 taken 6 times, CaF2, which is known as fluoroapatite, and Ca9PO4 taken 6 times, CaCl, which is known as chloroapatite. And the next one, Ca9PO4 taken 6 times, CaOH taken twice, which is known as hydroxyapatites. And this one is available, phosphorus is available in bones and living cells. Phosphorus is present in the bones of the animals, and next one, in the living cells of the animals, this phosphorus is available. And last one, phosphorus is present in egg and milk in the form of phosphoproteins. So these are the three sources of the phosphorus. And next one, last three elements, arsenic, stibbium and bismuth. Arsenic, stibbium and bismuth, these three are available in the form of sulfides. Example, arsenic sulfide, AS2ES3, and next one, stibbium sulfide, Sb2ES3, and bismuth sulfide, Bl2ES3. So these are the available forms of the last three elements, arsenic, stibbium and the next one bismuth. So this is the overall occurrence of all the elements present in 15th group. Right? So occurrence completed. And next one is periodic trends. How periodic trends change in 15th group. Let us discuss. So now I am going to rub this one, guys. Occurrence of the 15th group elements has been completed. And the next one, periodic trends. Second one, periodic trends. In periodic trends, first one, electronic configuration. Electronic configuration. If you take nitrogen electronic configuration, helium 2s2 2p3, and if you take the phosphorus, neon 3s2 3p3, and if you take the arsenic, argon 3d10, argon 3d10 4s2 4p3, and the next one, stibbium. Stibbium, krypton 4d10 5s2 and 5p3, and last one, bismuth, xenon 4f14 5d10 6s2 and 6p3. So this is about electronic configuration of all the elements present in 15th group. Now if you see here, by following the outermost configuration, we can write the general electronic configuration for 15th group elements as NS2 and NP3. So in the last shell of these elements, S subshell is completely filled and P subshell has half filled configuration. P subshell has half filled configuration, which is half filled configuration. So due to the presence of this half filled configuration, so 15A group elements have extra stability. Extra stability. You know, full filled configurations and half filled configurations are highly stable. You know, noble gases are highly stable because they have full filled configurations in their valence shell or outermost shell. So like that, half filled configuration also very stable. But comparing with full filled configuration, this is less stable. Comparing with other configurations, half filled configuration is very stable. So this is about the electronic configuration of 15th group elements. And second one, we have to discuss atomic radius. Second one, we have to discuss atomic radius. So you know guys, atomic radius means, in simple words, the distance between nucleus and outermost shell of an atom is known as atomic radius. In simple words. So now let us discuss what about the change in the atomic radius in the 15th group elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, stibbium, and bismuth. Now you know guys, from top to bottom, number of shells increases. Due to the increase in the number of shells from nitrogen to bismuth, atomic size increases. So now if we take the nitrogen, its atomic size is 70 picometers. Atomic radius 70 picometers. You know, atomic radius produces atomic size or atomic volume. And phosphorus, atomic radius is 110 picometers. And arsenic atomic radius is 121 picometers. And stibbium atomic radius is 141 picometers. And bismuth atomic radius is 148 picometers. So now if you observe here, there is a predominant increase in the atomic radius from nitrogen to phosphorus. there is a large difference in the atomic radius between nitrogen and phosphorus. But from arsenic onwards, there is no significant change in their atomic radius, 121, 141 and 148 picometers. There is a small change, small increase from arsenic to bismuth in their atomic radius. So now the reason for that, these elements have d orbitals and f orbitals electrons. F orbitals, d orbitals are completely filled. In case of bismuth, these are completely filled. In case of arsenic and strontium, d orbitals are filled. So d orbitals and f orbitals, they have diffused shape. Due to that diffused shape, the electrons present in the d orbitals and f orbitals, they won't produce more screening effect. The screening effect is very poor. Due to the poor screening effect, here the large shell is attracted by the nucleus of these atoms. As a result, the atomic size decreases. That is not present as much as we expected. Right? So that is about the atomic radius. So now atomic radius in order, increasing order, we can write like this guys. Nitrogen has small size than phosphorus. Phosphorus has small size than arsenic. Arsenic has small size than strontium. Strontium has small size than bismuth. So this is the increasing order of the atomic radius of 15th group elements. This is about the atomic radius in its order. And the next one is next periodic property, third one. Two completed guys, electronic configuration completed, atomic radius completed, and the third one is ionization energy. Ionization energy. So what is this ionization energy? Ionization energy means, I will explain. First you take an atom. This atom is present in the gaseous state, and the nucleus of the atom and outermost shell of the atom, there is one electron. Now here, from this gaseous atom, to remove this electron, how much amount of energy is required? That energy is known as ionization energy. The amount of energy required to remove the electron present in the valence shell of a gaseous atom is known as ionization energy. Let us see how this property changes the 15th group elements from nitrogen to bismuth. So here this one, ionization energy is inversely proportional to the atomic radius. You know, from nitrogen to bismuth, from nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, strontium and bismuth, from nitrogen to bismuth, atomic radius increases. If atomic radius increases, ionization energy decreases. So the reason for that, you take two atoms, one is smaller size and one is with larger size. This is the nucleus of the atom, nucleus of the atom. So now you see here one electron present in its valence shell, here also one electron present. Now you compare the distance between both the atoms, between nucleus and outermost electron. Here distance is very less, that's why this electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus of this atom. And in this case, distance is little bit more comparing to the first case. So here attraction of the nucleus on this electron is little bit poor. Now here in between these two atoms, to remove this electron we need to use more amount of energy. But to remove this electron by using small amount of energy we can remove this electron, because on this electron nucleus attraction is very less because of more distance. In this case both are here distance is very less, attraction is very high on this electron. That's why the removal of electron is very difficult in this case. Now you know that nitrogen has a smaller size and phosphorus has more size than nitrogen, arsenic has more size, strontium has more size than arsenic, and bismuth has more size than strontium. So now from nitrogen to bismuth, so atomic radius or atomic size increases. So then you can say that ionization energy decreases. Nitrogen has a smaller size, that's why nitrogen has more ionization energy than phosphorus, and phosphorus has more ionization energy than arsenic. Arsenic has more ionization energy than strontium, and strontium has more ionization energy than bismuth. So this is the decreasing order of ionization energy of the 15th group elements. Right. So this is about the ionization energy. And here one interesting fact factor. When you compare the ionization energy of the 15th group elements with the 14th group elements, these elements have more ionization energy. 15th group elements are also known as 50A group elements, and 14th group are 4A group elements. Example, let me take elements present in the second figure. Nitrogen present here and carbon present. So now nitrogen has more ionization energy than carbon, right? You know, here due to the half filled configuration, in this one half filled configuration is present, but here half filled configuration not present. Let me write the uppermost configuration of the nitrogen, that is 2s2 and 2p3. In this case 2s2 and 2p2. So now you see the p orbitals. P subshell, there is a half filled configuration in all the 50A group elements. Due to the half filled configuration, they have extra stability. When they have extra stability, the removal of electron will be very difficult. So now here 50A group elements have more ionization energy values comparing with 4Pa group elements, right? And fourth one, electronegativity. So electronegativity means what? Electronegativity means the tendency of an atom to attract the bond pair of electrons towards itself is known as electronegativity. Tendency of an atom to attract the bond pair of electrons towards itself is known as electronegativity. Example, let me take HCl molecule. In the HCl molecule between hydrogen and chlorine there is a bond pair of electrons. Now these two electrons are strongly attracted towards the chlorine. This phenomenon or this process is known as electronegativity, and which is electronegative atom. Right? This is the electronegativity. The tendency of an atom to attract the bond pair of electrons towards itself is known as electronegativity. In case of 15th group elements from nitrogen to beryllium, from top to bottom, we know atomic radius increases. From nitrogen to bismuth, atomic radius increases. Here we have a relation between electronegativity and next one atomic radius, that is inversely proportional. Electronegativity is inversely proportional to the atomic radius, means as atomic radius increases, electronegativity decreases. If this one increases, then electronegativity, if this one decreases, electronegativity increases. If atomic radius increases, then electronegativity decreases. You know that from nitrogen to bismuth, atomic radius increases, so here electronegativity decreases. Now let me write the order of electronegativity. Nitrogen has more electronegativity than phosphorus. Phosphorus has more electronegativity than arsenic. Arsenic has more electronegativity than strontium, and strontium electronegativity value is equal to the bismuth. Now you know here comparing with comparing with strontium, bismuth have a little bit larger in size. But even though here both have same electronegativity, the reason is here nuclear charge is very high comparing with strontium, and here you have electrons in f orbitals. So the electrons present in the f orbitals, they offer very poor screening effect. Due to the poor screening effect and due to the higher nuclear charge, bismuth has equal electronegativity with strontium. So generally we know as size increases, electronegativity must be decreased. But in this case, due to the presence of these f orbitals, they offer poor screening effect and there is more nuclear charge comparing with the strontium. That's why this one shows equal electronegativity with the strontium. This is about electronegativity. So right guys, 4 periodic trends completed. So here 2 completed, first one occurrence completed and next one periodic trends completed. In periodic trends we have discussed the electronic configuration of the 15th group elements, And next one, atomic radius of the 15th group elements. Next one, ionization energy, and last one, electronegativity. So these are the periodic trends of the 15th group elements. The next one, third one, we have to discuss, that is physical properties. Physical properties. Right. So now, 15th group elements are nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, strontium, and next one, bismuth. Except this nitrogen, remaining all the elements are present in solid state. Right? So nitrogen is present in the gaseous state. Except nitrogen, remaining all the elements are present in solid state. And here, nitrogen and phosphorus, these two are non-metals. And arsenic and strontium, these two are metalloids. And bismuth, which is predominantly in metal. So now here we can say that in 15th group elements, from top to bottom, metallic character increases. First two elements are non-metals, and here nitrogen is gas and phosphorus is a solid. And next two elements, arsenic and strontium, these two are in solid state and they are metalloids, means they have 50% metallic characters, 50% non-metallic character. And bismuth, which is predominantly a metal and which is present in the solid state. Right. And next one, melting point. Melting point of the 15th group elements. So in 15th group elements, nitrogen has less melting point than phosphorus, has less melting point than arsenic. This arsenic has more melting point than strontium. Strontium has more melting point than bismuth. So now here we can say that arsenic has maximum melting point. Arsenic has maximum melting point and nitrogen has minimum melting point. In 15th group elements, arsenic has maximum or more melting point and nitrogen has less melting point. And next one is boiling point. So the boiling point order, nitrogen has less boiling point than phosphorus, phosphorus has less boiling point than arsenic, and arsenic has less boiling point than strontium, strontium has more boiling point than bismuth. So now here strontium has maximum boiling point, and again nitrogen has very less minimum boiling. So this is about melting point and boiling point of the 15th group elements. And next one, allotropic forms. Allotropic. I think you know allotropy means, you might have heard about that. Allotropy. So here, except bismuth, remaining all the elements exhibit allotropy. They have allotropic forms. First, allotropy means what? Allotropy means the existence of an element, in different forms with different physical and chemical properties. The existence of an element in different forms with different physical and chemical properties. First, let us take nitrogen. Nitrogen in solid state, it exhibits two allotropic forms. First one is alpha nitrogen and second one is beta nitrogen. So these two are in dynamic equilibrium at minus 238 degrees centigrade. Nitrogen exhibits two allotropic forms. First one is known as alpha nitrogen and second one is known as beta nitrogen. So this one has cubic crystalline structure, and this one has hexagonal crystalline structure. This one has cubic crystalline structure, and beta nitrogen has hexagonal crystalline structure. And the next one, phosphorus. So here the phosphorus allotropic forms are very important. So phosphorus exhibits four types of allotropic forms. Phosphorus exhibits four types of allotropic forms. First one here, white phosphorus, and second one is red phosphorus, and the third one is black phosphorus, and fourth one is scarlet. So these are the four different types of allotropic forms of the phosphorus. So regarding all these allotropic forms of the phosphorus, we will discuss in upcoming classes, right? And the next one, allotropic forms of the arsenic, stibbium and bismuth. Already I told you, except this bismuth, remaining all the elements exhibit allotropic forms. Arsenic exhibits three allotropic forms. First one is grey arsenic, and second one is yellow arsenic, and last one is black arsenic, right? And next one is stibbium. So stibbium also exhibits three allotropic forms. First one, grey stibbium. Stibbium is also known as antimony. So now first one is grey stibbium, and next one is yellow stibbium, and last one is scarlet stibbium. So these are the three allotropic forms of the stibbium, and bismuth won't exhibit allotropic forms. This is about the allotropy of 15 group elements, right? So here physical properties also completed, guys. And next one, chemical properties. Chemical properties are very important. In chemical properties, first we have to discuss about oxidation state. So last topic, chemical properties. Chemical properties. First one, oxidation states. You know, oxidation state and oxidation number means the losing or gaining of electrons by an atom present in a molecule is known as oxidation state. The losing or gaining of electrons by an atom in a given molecule is known as its oxidation number or oxidation state. Nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, stibbium, bismuth. So these are 15 group elements. All these elements generally oxidation number -3, next +3, +5 and +3. All these elements generally exhibit -3 oxidation state, +5 oxidation state, and next one +3 oxidation state. So now if you see the electronic configuration or general electronic configuration of these elements, so now you see it's in the valence shell or in the outermost shell, how many electrons are there? 5 electrons are there. 5 electrons are there. So now to get stability, they need 3 more electrons. You know, an atom exhibits stability when it has 8 electrons in its valence shell. And here these elements have 5 electrons, so they are unstable. To get stability, to get maximum stability, due to the half-filled configuration in the p-sub shell, they get little bit extra stability. But comparing with half-filled configuration, full-filled configuration is more stable. So then, to get the maximum stability here, so all these elements require 3 electrons.